Let's talk online dating for people on the spectrum. So, I have had much experience with online dating. I've met a few people online. I've not had any success except for making a couple of good friends. Um, but I definitely know a lot about online dating. For those that don't know, I am on the autism spectrum. And I pretty much started online dating when I turned 18. Um, and I got better and better with it. Um, though I stopped using the free sites and started using OkCupid, and when that happened, things got difficult. I don't really recommend using the OkCupid site because it's very competitive, and there's like a zillion guys more than women, and I mean, for me, I know that I was doing a very good job. Some tips for first of all, you need to have a strong profile that shows your personality, not something that's boring. I've had my profile critiqued to make it really good. I've had multiple people critique my profile. Like, people said it was great. Um, and so, but on OkCupid, which was what I was using pretty recently. Well, I stopped using it about almost a year ago or so, because I just got tired of it, and I didn't want to try it with a pay site like eHarmony or Match.com. But I'm sure my success rate would be much higher on them. But so I had people critique it. So when you make your profile, you want it to represent you, to stand out, and not to be boring and just facts. Facts turn people away usually, unless they're very interesting facts. And you might think it's interesting facts, but to other people it might not be that way. When approaching a girl online, you don't want to necessarily have a long message. You want to say like hi, and pick out a certain detail from their profile if possible. Like if they really like a certain band, you might say I went to that concert. Or you might talk about, if you can be a little bit funny, that's great. Talk about how you, were connected to a certain movie or what have you. Show, though, that you have an interest in what they have an interest in. If they're into yoga, say, oh, I do yoga as well, or whatever. But you have to show that connection. Just saying hi or just having a very long-winded message can definitely turn someone away. I really recommend, the thing about online dating is it can very much suck you in. It becomes like this other world, and it can be very not healthy. I think for every hour that you spend online trying to date, you should spend 2 hours outside in the world trying to meet girls, whether it's going to bars and clubs or just volunteering at organizations and putting yourself out there in some capacity. Try to get yourself noticed out in the public. Online dating can be much more comfortable for us, but we need to go outside our comfort zones. And it's a lot easier to be rejected online, yes, but there's something about that real-world connection which helps out a lot. And another thing too about online dating is that sometimes you feel this great connection online, but then you meet that person and they're totally different than what you expect. People edit their thoughts. They only represent a fraction of them. There are parts of them that come apart in person that just don't come across online. Sometimes a person's even better in person than they appear online. Sometimes the person is far worse online. One problem that I noticed with women, and please women don't do this, is that they will misrepresent themselves with the pictures too. They will only show like up to here, then down below they seem a little on the obese side when you meet them in person. And I've had that happen a couple of times, and to me that's like lying, and that makes me very upset, to say the least, because I spent all that time trying to get to know you. The next thing you know, you end up being very obese. Not that I have anything against obese people, but I am skinny, and I want to date someone that is of a similar weight to me. I wish I wasn't, like that in that perspective, but I just can't see myself as someone that's overweight. I don't mean that to being offensive or anything like that, but that's the truth. And so I do feel like it's lying when you don't represent your weight properly. And there's just things that don't come across, like if someone's sarcastic or they are shy or what have you. A lot of those things won't necessarily come across in the way that they type online. And so it's very good to just put yourself out of the comfort zone. Read up tips on dating, read books on dating, get yourself outside. And that's what I'm trying to do, you know. That's why I haven't done online dating, because it just sucks you up. It's very time consuming. For me, I've barely got any responses. Of course, I tried a very competitive site like OkCupid recently. I think a very good site to try is eHarmony or Match.com. With that said, though, there have been a couple of free websites for people with disabilities that have come about. I'm going to put the links for those two. There are, I think, Free My Ability, and I forget the name of the other disability website, but both of them are going to be listed in my link below. So check those out. They're free for people with disabilities, so you can meet other people with autism or what have you. So they're definitely worth taking a look at. There's also soulgeek.com, which is a pay site. That's about people that are like of the geek nature, and a lot of people with autism tend to be, you know, very geeky into like anime or what have you. So that's definitely a website to take out. That's soulgeek.com. And also, with a profile, try to have pictures that portray in a good light, but do not have them misrepresenting you. You know, you want to look good like you do in person, but don't hide details about yourself. So, with that said, online dating should be used as a tool to further your dating experiences, but it should not be the only way that you date people. Meeting people in person gives the best experience, and it helps push you out of the comfort zone, and that's ultimately what needs to happen. So I thank you for watching this, and I wish all of you an awesome day of awesomeness. Thank you.